Hi, we're going to do wheel pose today. That's going to be the apex. Again, it's about a 45-minute yoga. 2 blocks if you have them, no big deal if you don't. Also, if you have a strap, this is a yoga strap. Now, you don't have to use a yoga strap. You might have a resistance band, or you might just be able to use a long towel, or even a t-shirt. Something like that works. Okay, let's get going. So if you wanted to use some music, you can. Just play it on the background. So we'll start for a quick moment just breathing. And that's going to take us into our body and out of our mind. So close your eyes, relax your shoulders, and just breathe. Now, as you're breathing, start to focus on what's called Ujjayi breath. That's the back of the throat breath. It's coming from right there. I sometimes explain it like it's like Darth Vader, or if you were fogging up a window. So let's try 2 of those. Take an inhale, and the Ujjayi exhale. If at the beginning it's easier to access by opening the mouth, go for it. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Go on and take your feet together in what's called a Baddha Konasana for just a moment. So that's feet together like this. You're going to sit back onto your sit bones and grab onto your ankles, pulling the legs as close to you as possible. That might not be that close, that's okay. If this is enough for your hips, you can just stay here, standing up nice and tall. Sitting up. Or if you feel like you can go a little bit further, walk it so that your forearms are coming against your shins. Place your hands on the ground and take a deep inhale, elongating your spine. And an exhale. Get into that Ujjayi breath. Stay there 2 more breaths. Inhaling. And exhaling. And then just taking it up. Cross one leg over the other, so one leg goes straight and the other leg goes over. Pull the knee in towards the chest, sitting up nice and tall. Twist towards the bent leg. Have the twist coming from your torso. Try not to pull too hard, relax your shoulders. Reach the other arm back behind you, as if you could reach to your fingertips. Flex through your foot so your toes are going up to the ceiling. Take a deep inhale, lengthen your spine. And if you want to, you can take your fingertips on the ground to exhale, make it a little bit deeper. Slowly bring it back to the center and let's switch sides. Keep this as a gentle twist. It doesn't need to be too extensive because we're just starting out. Inhale to lengthen your spine. And exhale, here's your twist, Ujjayi exhale. Open up the arm. Feel like someone can reach your fingertips away from your head as you twist on the exhale. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. You can use your fingertips on the ground if you want to, just a little bit of pressure to exhale. Good, and slowly take it back over. Flex both feet in front of you. You're actually going to let your head drop this time. So you're going to let this natural curl happen and come over. Just drop your hands, or you can take them behind you. Really let your head drop. Feel that gravity stretch, and just take 2 breaths here. One more. Slowly roll it up. Trying to feel the weight on your sit bones first. Bring it up. Use your core, use your core, use your core. Roll the shoulders up and back and breathe. We'll do some abdominals to start to warm up for yoga. So you lay on your back. Take your feet off the ground. Bend your knees so they're over your hips. Inhale to lift your shoulder blades off the ground. Exhale, pull your navel to your spine as you twist towards the left leg. Inhale, stay up, just come back to the center. Exhale, twist the other way. Inhales, exhales, twist. When you twist, you're pulling the navel to your spine. You're flattening your lower back on the ground. You're holding it, so it's a long hold. Inhale. Big exhale. See if you can curl the tailbone a little bit here. Inhale back to the center. Now extending the legs up to the ceiling. If you can do that, just keep them bent. If not, we go through the same thing. Keep your legs right over your hips. Do not bring them over the chest. Here we go. Inhale, lift your shoulder blades. Long exhale, twist, pull navel to spine. Move your feet a little bit away from your hips and keep pulling your navel to spine. Inhale back to center. Exhale, go to the other side. Think about flattening your back on the ground so that your tailbone hikes just a centimeter up with a little curl. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, twist. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, twist. Bring the inhale back to the center. Rest for a moment by placing the feet on the ground. Take your hands to the tops of your hips. Just give a little hit, a little push. Inhale to lengthen your head and tailbone. And exhale, push and relax your back. We have one more. We're coming to a straddle, or you're coming to a frog. So a straddle is just opening the legs wide out, but keeping them over the hips, meaning don't bring them towards the chest, over the hips. Now a frog is just bending the knees slightly, and that's you can do if your hamstring tight. You take your hands behind your head, and we're just going straight up. So inhale, lift it up. As you exhale, pull navel to spine and move your feet a little bit away from your head. Pull navel to spine, see if you can get a little bit higher. Inhale, you come back down about an inch. Exhale, pull navel to spine. Move your feet about an inch away from your head. Inhale, you come back. Legs are over hips. Exhale, lift the shoulder blades. Try to get them all the way off the floor. Pull navel to spine and move your feet away. See if you can flatten your lower back on the ground. Inhale, back to the center. We'll do 2 more of those. Exhale. Inhale. So it's a long exhale. You want to hold it till the very end. Exhale. Keep the gaze up. And inhale, release. We'll bring the knees in towards your chest, bending them, and take a rock right and left, just a little side to side. Relaxing your lower back. Roll over to one side to gently lift yourself up by using a hand to press into the mat. We'll take it around into a tabletop position, and we're doing what's called a dolphin prelude. So a dolphin, a good way to set up is to grab onto your biceps and take your elbows to the ground. And then from there, you're going to take your hands straight out in front of you. You squeeze your shoulder blades in. You tuck your toes. You lift your hips. Now it's just like a downward dog. You push your heels into the ground, towards the ground. You take your shoulder blades back and squeeze in your triceps. If this is too much for you, you bring your knees down behind your hips and work it here, especially if you have any shoulder tweakiness. Take one more breath in your dolphin. Good. And then bringing it into a seated position on your toes. So I'm tucking my toes back behind me, so there is like a tuck. And I'm sitting back, closing my eyes, and holding as we do a wrist stretch. Your hands right out in front of you. You're just going to push and hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't switch your feet, just switch your wrists and hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Take your hands down, and we're coming into a downward dog. So I'm going to show you this way so you can see. You've got your hands down, your shoulders are over your wrist. You tuck your toe. First, lift up your knees, take your chest to your thigh, then straighten out your legs. Take your shoulder blades back behind you. And breathe. Try to open up your heart by still moving your shoulder blades back. I think I need to wiggle my feet back a little bit. Deep breath, big inhale, big exhale. Again, you're going to bring your knees straight back down. You're going to walk your hands up. And now this time you're on your knees. Put padding behind it if you need. Take your fingertips down behind you. Squeeze your elbows in. Root down with your fingertips and look up with your heart. This is a mini camel. Just think about lifting your collarbone as shoulder blades go down your back. You're lengthening your upper back. It's not about how far you go back. It's about lengthening the very, very top of the upper back. So shoulder blades to your head. Bring it back to the center, and we'll take it to some standing work. So go ahead and bring it up to standing at the top of your mat. Good. So inhaling at the top of the mat, feet come together. Just big inhale up, clasp your fingers at your thumbs, and reach up towards the sky, big inhale. As you exhale, take it straight down into a forward bend. Release your head. You can bend your knees if you need to, just have them soft. Place the hands down, bend your knees, walk back to a plank position. Those are shoulders over wrist, engaging your core nice and strong. Take your knees to the ground, bend your elbows straight back. You're coming all the way down. Place your hands out in front of you, about 1 foot. Press into your hands, roll your shoulders back, squeeze your glutes. Inhale up. Good. And exhale, bring it back down. Place your hands on either side of you, engage your core, and lift up straight toward downward dog. Squeeze triceps, lift up, big exhale, up and back. Lift your right leg up, bend your knee, and open up your hip. As you do that, you're planting your left heel down nice and strong. Feel free to roll through the ankle if you want to, right or left, whatever feels good. Keep your shoulder blades down your back, opening your heart. Pull the knee in towards your chest, and then set the foot down where the right hand is. Drop your left knee to be right below your hips. Take an inhale, clasp the thumbs like we just did before, and reach up and back. As you exhale, you place both hands down, tuck your toe, and come back to standing. Shoulder width distance or feet together again. Inhale, lifting the arms all the way up. And exhale, you're going to come all the way back down. Stay here and just place your hands right underneath your feet. Think about taking your chest to your thighs as you bend them, but let your head be relaxed. Take 1 Ujjayi breath here, shoulder blades down the back. Place your hands down, walk yourself back into a plank position. Take a chaturanga or the knees, chest, chin again, and then come into an up dog or a cobra. Inhaling up. And as you exhale, engage your core, take it back into your downward dog. Lift up your left leg straight back behind you, bend your knee and open up your hip. Root down through your heel of your right leg. Keep your shoulders square. Deep breaths. Pull your left knee in, set it down where your left hand is. Drop your right knee so it's directly below your hip. And then inhaling your arms up. Clasp your thumbs again. Reach your fingertips back and try to get a tiny little arch in your upper back. Place your hands down, tuck your toe behind you, and step forward again for standing forward bend. Open up your arms to the side, big swoop all the way up. And then let your arms come back down, big exhale in Tadasana. Shift all your weight to your right foot, grab onto your left heel and pull your heel to your butt. Root down through your right heel. You're stretching through your quad muscle, try to get the heel straight to the butt and squeeze your inner thighs as much as you can. Release and we'll switch to the other side. Stretch your heel to the butt as much as you can. Deep breath. Have a block nearby. We're coming down to the ground. And separate your feet hip width distance. You're coming into a squat position, so it can be a little bit further than hip width. I'm going to show you this way just so you can see. You're going to drop your head and your tailbone and come down as far as you can. I have really long legs, so mine go really far out in squat. If you want, and if you have a block and feels uncomfortable to you to do it without, you can sit on the block just like this. Or you're just here. Activate the core, press the hands together, press thighs into hands to make sure that your knees stay over your toes. Ujjayi breath here. We'll roll all the way down to the ground and come into a bridge pose. Here's where you want the block. So you're going to place the block underneath your sacrum. If you don't have a block, no big deal. You don't have to place it underneath the sacrum. You can do this without the block. Lift up. You can place it along the high height, maybe, or maybe you need to go on the medium height. Go on what height works for you. We're puffing up, opening up your upper back here. Relax your shoulder blades down. You can use your hands by pressing them into the ground a tiny bit. Tuck your chin. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Put a lot of weight into your feet, and we'll slide the block out by lifting up off by squeezing your glutes and just slide, 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 slide. Here's your bridge. Take your feet down, squeeze your inner thigh so that you're making sure that you're still the same trajectory. Tuck your chin, open up your heart. One more breath here. Get a little bit higher in your hips if you can, and then you roll down, upper back, middle back, and lower back. Grab onto your thighs, grab onto your shins, take what's called a little rock. So it just starts just tiny little bit, and then maybe you can come onto your shoulder blades and come up. We're going to hold this boat pose right here, engage your core. Nice and long for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Cross the legs, place your hands down, walk back to a plank. You can always take that through a bit of a swing jump if you want to. Hold your plank, deep breath. We're moving through chaturanga, up dog to down dog, jumping forward. Here we go. Exhale, inhale up, exhale back. Take a look at your hands. Inhale and exhale to jump. Shoulders over wrist. Open up your arms, big breath. Exhale to take it all the way down. Step your left foot back. You're coming into a warrior 2, reversing the warrior. Come up into your standing. Reverse your warrior up and back. Really stretch right here through your side body. Releasing through the shoulder. Hand can be here or behind you. Stay right in your warrior 2. We're going to switch over to an extended side angle variation. I'm going to come all the way down. Feel free to use a block. Lengthen through your ribs. Big exhale. Come back into your warrior 2. You're going to turn your back toe so you're in a lunge. Place your hands right here on your hips. Turn your fingertips down and squeeze your elbows together as you look up and back. Deep breath. Last part of this variation, take your hands to your heart center and twist over the bent knee. Make a fist with your lower hand, a palm with the top, and twist. Stay right where you are in this twist. Bend your back leg, step forward. You're in a chair, twisting chair. Deep breath. Take it back to the center. Inhale, arms come up. As you exhale all the way down, we're doing a full vinyasa flow. Maybe you want to go on different timing than me. You exhale halfway. Inhale down. Exhale back to your plank chaturanga. Feel free to jump. Inhale to your up dog. Exhale up and back to your down dog. Take a look at your hands. Bend your knees, jump forward. Stay nice and low. Move your right foot back behind you and open it up. Cartwheeling warrior 2 to go straight into reversing your warrior. So hand can go behind your back too. Release your shoulder blades, open your heart. Stay in your warrior two, nice and strong, extended side angle. Another variation is to do a half bind. I'm showing you the back side. Or a full bind if you've got that in your practice where you're reaching around here. And breathe. Deep breath. Taking the arms up, turn to come to a lunge position. You're going to turn your back toe so it's parallel. Reach your arms behind you. This time you clasp them. You reach back and open up. Deep breath. Maybe you can sink a little bit lower. Hug your inner thighs in. Take your hands to heart center and cross over your front leg. Make a fist with your bottom hand and use that pressure of the fist into the hand to lean back as you twist and look up. Bend your back leg slightly and you're coming into a chair, feet together or hip width distance, and breathe. Inhale to bring your arms up. Exhale to your heart center. Step back a little bit on your mat if you want to. We're coming to a crow. Here's a great way to practice crow if you've got a block. You're taking your heels onto the block. Your toes are down. So it looks like this. Your heels are together so your knees go out. You're coming all the way down. You're going to place your hands down on the ground. You chaturanga your arms. That means your arms go down. That's going to bring your knees to your armpits. You hug in on your armpits. So here maybe is where you start, and that's great. If you already have crow, go for it. Maybe you want to take your feet onto the block, heels together. And then you're already a little bit higher. So here's your second. And then from there, see if you can engage your core. Just lift your legs up off the block. Wherever you're at, go on and just bring it down. Come into a forward bend again. Drop your head. And then bend your knees. Come all the way to standing. One deep breath. Exhale, bringing your hands together, heart center. Go on and grab onto your left leg. Pull the knee in towards the butt. We're going into dancer pose. So you're going to grab onto the heel or you're going to grab onto the toes. Toes a little bit easier if you're going into full dancer pose. Right arm comes up, palm faces you. Shoulders are square. Kick your foot back, squeeze your inner thighs in, and then start to tilt yourself forward as you lift your back leg up. And breathe. Woo. If you fall like I just did, that's okay. And then bring it back in for a moment, just setting the foot down. Stand in Tadasana, deep inhale. And as you exhale, you shift your weight, go to the other side. I'm going to show you. I'm just turning so you can see. Pull the heel to the butt. Again, you could just keep it here and go right here. That's your first. But if you want to get a little bit more into it, grab onto your toes, elbow bends, straight back. And then arm is up. You're going to push into your hand, hand into foot, and lift it up. It's a great toe stretch too. And breathe. You got it. Yeah. Engage your core. Pull it in and release. Back to the top of the mat. Big inhale, arms up. As you exhale, you come down to the ground. We're coming into a plank and we're lowering all the way to the ground. So bending your elbows lower for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Here's your bow pose on the ground. So you bend both your knees, squeeze your inner thighs, and you reach back for your heel, your ankles. Yeah. Keep your head down. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to lift. Thighs up. Chest comes up because you lift thighs up and kick your hands away. Stay here. Inhale. Squeeze your glutes. That's going to help. Exhale a little bit higher. And release. Come down. Just take a moment. Breathe. Take your hands to the ground. Drop your head and windshield wiper. Right and left. Deep breath. Place your hands down on the ground and lift yourself up into a tabletop position. Few cat-cows right here. Exhale. Inhale. Head and tailbone go away from each other. Exhale, pull navel to spine. And inhale. And take it right back into this neutral position. Strike your right foot forward, you're coming to a lunge. Here's applying, you might want to use a block right here. You do not have to. So you're going to toe, knee, your back leg back. Put this. You might also want some padding for your knee. Quick padding is just to flip the mat. So just to let you know. Now if you want the block to be here, you're going to place it right here. And what you're doing is you're leaning forward on the block. So this is a pretty intense lunge with that lean forward. You're going to take your hands here. Make sure the pedicure side of the toes are down and they're pushing into the ground. Now that might be enough for you. You might feel the stretch, or you might want to go a little bit further. A little bit further is to lift your knee up off the ground like this. Again, pedicure side of the toes are down. Try to make space in your front hip. It's an intense stretch. Release, bringing the foot all the way down. Same foot. You're going to tuck your toe and open up into warrior two. That means both your hips are facing forward. Inhaling, arms come up. Deep breath. Eagle your warrior two by taking your right elbow underneath your left and lift your arms up. Push into your back foot. Big deep breath. Release, turn your back foot and step it forward, big inhale. Exhale into your forward bend. Step back into your plank position, and now we're coming to the ground, and this is where you could use a strap. So again, nice and slow, chaturanga, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So if you have a strap, here's where you might want to use it. Now you can make a little loop for your foot if you want to. Or you could just take the strap around. It sort of depends on what you like. The loop for the foot, you pull through one ring, you pull through the other ring, and then you just make it as tight as you want, and then you just pull, and there it is. So take it around the left foot ankle. Now, if you don't have a strap, you just wrap it around, one foot around the other. You're going to squeeze your inner thighs together, and you're going to flex through your foot. So I have it around heel, you can also have it around ankle. And you're going to move and pull that closer to you. Now you take your arms over your head, and you're grabbing onto your strap. And as you kick the leg up, you're going to lift up your heart. Squeeze your glutes and breathe right here. Squeeze your inner thigh in. Open up your heart, reach it forward. Shoulder blades go back. This is a lot about upper back. And to release it down, take a moment. I'm going to show you what to do without a strap if you don't have one. We're going to the other side, so just take a moment, release the strap, switch it to the other side. Or if you don't have a strap, what you're doing is you're taking both your hands back if you can. You're squeezing your inner thighs together, you're flexing your foot, you're rolling your shoulder blades up and back, and here you go. So let's all come together, inhaling up. And exhaling, heart goes forward, shoulder blades back. Inhale. And exhale. Great. Release. Take your hands down, engage your core, lift it up, come straight into a plank position, tuck your toes, and hold. For 4, 3, 2, downward dog on your 1, big exhale. Left leg comes forward. And again, I did my right. Left leg comes forward. And again, if you want your block, you're going to set it down here for this pose. Or if you think you need some extra padding on your knee, you're going to flip your mat or just put something there, like a towel or a sweater. So you are leaning forward onto this block. So that means that your hip and your knee are not in alignment. Your knee is behind your hip. And again, so you can press here and make some space. And maybe this is enough for you. Or maybe you lift your knee up off the ground. I'm just going to stay here on this leg. And you're just going to breathe. You're trying to relax your hip. on the front leg as well as stretching through the back. So you're simultaneously doing those and opening your heart. And breathe. Good. And you release. You can take the block away. You tuck the same foot behind you, and you're coming into a warrior one. Probably want to unroll your mat. So that's usually your heels align, your hips are forward. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, we're coming into eagle. Left arm under right. Lift up your elbows. Lift up your heart. Root down through your legs. Big deep breath. And good, releasing. You're just going to come into a standing position, so you can tuck your toe if you want to and just step it forward. Stand for a moment, Tadasana. One big inhale. And one big exhale. We're taking it down to the ground. Great, so if you have a block, or if you have like a towel or something, go ahead and bring it with you. This is going to be a little bit maybe unusual. If you've been doing a lot of yoga, this comes from a forced yoga, and it's really good to do for back bends. So you're going to place it on your hip bones. So it's right here on my hip bones. You can also use a towel, and actually sometimes towels are softer, a pillow or something. And you're just going to place your hands in front of you. And what you're doing is what I call cobra push-up. So you inhale, now you're going to squeeze your glutes, and you're going to push your hips into the block or the towel. So you actually really are pushing, and that's going to protect your lower back. And your cobra push-ups, you're going to inhale. Arms come off the ground, elbows are bent, and as you exhale, you just bring it right back down. You squeeze your shoulder blades. Then you can bring it a little bit further in for more intensity. Really, really squeeze and push. And then exhale. And the more you can squeeze in your glutes, that's right back here, the more you can push, it actually, it does take the pressure off of the lower back and you can get higher. So practice, really try that. We're going to do 5 of them. So you just go inhale and exhale. And you can release. Maybe you get a little bit closer. Inhale. And exhale. I'm going to show you an up level. An up level is to grab a foot. You still do this. Inhale. And exhale. You can imagine the second up level is to grab the other foot. Inhale. Really squeeze the glute. Push your hips. And exhale. Good, and I'll do one more without it. Inhale. And exhale. You're going to take it off of that block or whatever you were using and just take it over to the side. We're going to bring it into a seated position. Good. And take it all the way onto the ground. So here's where we go into our wheel and bridge variation. So you're going to start with bridge. We'll do 5 breaths in bridge. Feel free to lift up a leg. So what are you doing? Separating your feet hip width distance. Pull the navel to the spine. We already did this once today. See if you can get a little bit higher. Tuck the chin. Push a lot into your feet. If you can lift up a leg, usually walk one foot in. That's a foot you're not lifting up. Stay there for one more breath. I'm just going to give some direction. So think about that squeezing the glutes we just found and pushing the hips into the block that we just found and opening the chest. Now switch legs if you are on one leg. So you want to think the same thing. Squeeze. And when you're done, you're just going to roll it back down. Take a moment and rest here. So I'm going to go straight into wheel. Now I'm going to give a few options for wheel. First, if you have wheel, go for it. Hold it for 5 breaths. If you're working wheel, place your hands right next to your ears so that your elbows can squeeze in right above your ears. Your fingertips face away from your feet. First, come to the top of the head. It's not as scary as it seems. It's actually pretty simple. You just tuck your head. You're going to squeeze your elbows in. It's so important to keep that squeeze of the elbows in. And you're going to push into your hands, and you lift and straighten your arms, and shoot your heart forward. Squeeze your glutes like we just did. So that's if you're working in that way. Now, if you're still like, oh, I don't know about this, take 2 blocks, come to a wall. 1 block on one side of the wall, 1 block on the other side of the wall. Those are for your hands, so you can know where they're going. Your head goes in between. Now I take my hands to the blocks, and I have my fingertips off the blocks. I have my hands on them. I'm squeezing it. Now, first thing I said, you come to your head. Do that. So come to your head. Now from here, see if you can push your palms into the block. And then take your chest towards the wall, straightening through the legs as much as you can. You might just get a tiny push, and that's okay. Good. So you probably, if you're doing well, you're at 5 breaths now. If you're just working it, keep working it. We'll do 1 more breath wherever you're at. And then you're going to lay it back down. And we're coming to bridge 1 more time. So separate your feet. This is a nice gentle bridge. Curl your tailbone, lift up. Take 2 breaths here. And then roll it down. Take the legs straight up over the head, just like we did with the abdominals at the beginning. We're doing them again. So place your hands behind your head, inhale up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. 2 more. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Roll all the way back down. Pull your knees into your chest and just rock right and left tiny bit. 1, 2, 1, 2. Roll slowly over to one side. Lift yourself up to come to a seated position. You're almost done. You've got one leg straight out in front of you. You've got your other leg bent in. We're coming to an intense hamstring stretch. Again, if you have a block, set it on the outside of the foot if you want that extra stretch. Line up your hips so they're facing straight towards the block, and then take your chest towards your thigh. You can use your hands to give a little pull. Here's where that block comes. If you wanted to grab onto the block, it helps to get a little bit further, and you have something to pull. Push into your foot. Now we're going to rock the head, and we breathe here for 3 breaths. One more. We're trying to calm down because we're coming close to Shavasana. Let's switch to the other side. Same thing. So you want your hips to be aligned. So my hips stick out a little bit, so that's like my line. But you want to make sure that they're even. You're not hiking a hip or anything. Place the block on the other side of the foot if you want. You don't have to. You can also grab your shin, but just make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Take it over. We're going to do 3 Ujjayi breaths. Get back into it. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And again, inhaling. And exhaling. Last time. Good. And slowly roll it up. So we're coming onto our back. So we're coming to a happy baby. Now, if shoulder stand is in your practice, go on and do it. Also, you can use a block to do shoulder stand. But you don't have to. You can just come to happy baby, especially if you're just done. Happy baby, you're just grabbing on here. It's a nice, gentle grab. So if you can't reach your feet, just grab your shins. Don't make it a hard exercise. Just think soft. Babies would not try to power through a pose. we're going to shoulder stand if you want. So if you have shoulder stands in your practice, go for it. I'm going to give a few tips if it's not or if you're working it. You're going to take that block under the sacrum just like we did before, but this time I would make it a more of a lower level. Reach this leg straight up, and here's where you can go. If you're working shoulder stand and you want to come off the block, you use your hands to walk up. Start first with just your feet over your head in what's called a plow pose, and then lift one leg. Maybe that's enough. Or maybe you can lift the other. So shoulder stand, it's really, really important that you're not putting too much weight on your shoulders. So if this feels really intense to your shoulders, you can't make space in your neck, don't do it. Also, if you can't keep your hips in line with your feet, it's not the best pose to do quite yet. You want to just practice this one leg. One leg either on a wall or just one leg up, one leg coming down. If you're in shoulder stand, you're going to bend your knees and come into what's called plow pose. If this is uncomfortable to you, then you're just going to walk yourself down. If your plow pose is comfortable, feet go over the head and you just release your upper body. So your upper back's really important. It releases in plow pose. You can always use your hands to help yourself roll down. I do because I just really opened up my back and I feel like I want it to feel nice and relaxed and supported. So wherever you're at, you're just going to come all the way to the ground. Place your feet on the ground. Take your feet out, your knees together. Here's our last pose before Shavasana. You can give a little push to your hips or just stay here. This is a back release pose. Big inhale, big exhale. Make sure that your head is lengthening away from your tailbone. Big inhale, big exhale. Stay here for as long as you want. You could even do Shavasana here, but I'm going to go on and move you into Shavasana. Right leg straight and left leg. If you think you might get cold, when I'm filming this, it's still kind of early March, you could still get cold maybe. Put a blanket over you or put your jacket back over you if you had one on. One of my favorite things to do when I do Shavasana in my bedroom is to put on my slippers. So if you have something to put on, stay warm just when you want to relax. And just release. And we'll take 2 minutes of breathing, about 2 minutes. In your Shavasana, you let your breath go back to its normal pattern. So just don't think too much about how you're breathing. Just listen to how you're breathing. So let the breath go and be the outside observant. Sometimes I like to feel the inhale come in through my nose and out through my nose. Just tapping into the sensations inside of our nostrils or maybe inside of our mouths. Try to clear the chatter in your mind by listening to your breath. Listen to the sounds. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your arms over your head. Big, deep stretch. Inhale. And exhale. Bring your hands back down. Roll to one side. This is a gentle way to come up, so make sure you're gentle with this. You place your hands on the ground and you use your hands to come up so that you're not jerking the head, you're not jerking your back. Whew, that great Shavasana hair. Sit up nice and tall. You can keep your eyes closed, open them into the world. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.